Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here at SMTAi in Rosemont, Illinois, and I'm joined by Brian D'Amico from Mirtec. 15 years. So, two things I want to talk about. The last 15 years and the next 15 years. Let's start with the last 15 years. What did you learn?
Well, you don't have enough memory in there for this. What did I learn? Actually, I learned that after all these years, I still love this stuff. There's probably something wrong with me, but this stuff still turns me on. I love the inspection industry.
Okay.
And they say that if you really enjoy what you love, it's like you're not really working. I just don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm just enjoying it. It's kind of weird to wake up, one day and say, it's 15 years. 15 years went by. I had a lot more hair back then, but.
We all did.
And I learned that the industry is always changing, right? There's always new challenges. And the company that we have, Mirtec, it's an excellent company for dealing with those changes, staying on the forefront of technology. And that's partly why I love it so much, is it's nice seeing all the new stuff that we have and how we're addressing customers' requirements, and it's always like fresh. I'm saying?
Yeah. I think two things I get from that. One is Brian D'Amico, clearly clinically insane. Number two is the requirement for agility in the market. I don't think it's ever been as more important than it is now, but it's kind of been there the whole time. There's constant new developments, and Industry 4.0 is just one of those, but they're constantly asking new things of you. What are they asking of you now?
All right, so some of the challenges in the industry now, we're seeing that there's a lot of different components that people are working with, right? Boards are getting denser, It's always that, faster, cheaper, that it's just the way it is, and the boards are getting more dense. So there's more challenges. But also, even though boards are getting more dense, a lot of our manufacturers, both OEMs and contract manufacturers, are dealing with multiple different types of components. So a lot of through-hole devices are still on some of these boards. You just can't get away from that. So you have a combination of very small devices, 01, 005 devices, and then you have these tall aluminum electrolytic caps next to it. So you get a lot of shadowing, a lot of challenges like that. And then, of course, they're looking for speed. They're looking for speed and looking for the ability to inspect the entire board. And for that, you really have to change the way you look at things, pardon the pun, with inspection equipment. You really have to change the way you inspect the PCBs. You have to make sure that you can handle the full gambit. The thing that you never want to do in the inspection industry is you never want to take a board, put it into the machine and say, okay, I've now inspected 75% of the board, and pass the board over to some human to inspect the other 25%. We just don't do as good a job as machines do. So keeping up with those challenges. And then, of course, with the advent of Industry 4.0, that movement is taking on, right? We have to be able now to communicate with all of the different equipment out there. The goal is to maximize the efficiency of the manufacturing process. Inspection is a huge benefit to customers who are looking to maximize that efficiency, because of course we're taking the inspection away from human inspectors, we're doing it with the machines, and now we can take that information that we find, that data, and use that to make the process better. That's what we're all about right now.
Yeah.
So those are some of the changes that I see and some of the challenges out there, and it's not like it's always changing, right? It's always getting, exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know how many. I don't know whether it was a one-man startup 15 years ago, but you built quite a substantial team over those 15 years.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of guys met with me for the entire 15 years, and it's kind of strange because it really doesn't seem like it's been that long. But about 15 years ago is when my partner Chanwa Pak came to me and said, would you like to set up a distributorship in the U.S.? And of course, I wanted to do it. So mortgaged the house, started up the company, and from there we've been profitable every year except for 2009, where we kind of didn't quite do stuff here. But other than that, we've done very well. Last year was my best year. This is going to be my best year even yet. We're up beyond where we were last year, and it's amazing. You almost still wait for the shoe to fall off, but I don't really. In some ways, I think that there's been a lot more onshoring. There's been a lot more manufacturing, in the States, which is really good for us because we only handle North America. Because Mirtec is doing well, all throughout the world. But I'm really only responsible for North America, and we're doing very well.
Yeah. And the next 15 years, who knows? More of the same?
I hope so. I really hope so. I can't have any less here, so I'll probably do all right. I still have that energy. We'll see what happens, but. Yeah, I'm looking towards the next 5 and seeing what happens there. But 15 years, I'd love to be sitting here with you 15 years from now. We might have a couple of cans.
That's it. Yeah, we'll need some those chairs that lift you straight out.
Yeah, I just wanted to. So there's a company called Electronic Manufacturing Services Group, and it's kind of a funny story. Back when we first started in Vegas, do you remember the first year we had our show in Vegas, right? Now I had no idea that people were going to be there, quite frankly, because I'm thinking, all right, I'm in Vegas, so everything goes wrong, I'll be by the crap table. But in the very first hour of the show, there's a gentleman, his name was Doug Hamp, that came into the booth, sat down with me. It was April 1st, as a matter of fact. And I showed him my little desktop machine, my MV3 at that time. And it was kind of funny because he said, I like the machine. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, you going to buy one? And he goes, yeah. I said, you going to buy one now? I said, there's a show special. He pulls out his checkbook and he says, how do you spell Mirtec? And I'm like, Mirtec. He writes it down. He goes, now all we have to do is fill out the amount. The funny part is I've been telling that story now for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. His son comes to the booth today, does the same thing basically. And he just bought a machine for, so I just wanted to do a shout out to Alex and to Rocky. They are now the new owners of Electronic Manufacturing Services Group in York, PA. And I want to say thank you very much for your business and thank you for making my day. It was the coolest thing.
Well, that's a perfect wrap up. Brian, fantastic to see you. Congratulations on that 15 years. Continued success, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.